It's how you get your shit broken. Fucking hate these kids. The kitten brings the toys down to the puppy, and then the puppy destroys them. And they're the kitten's toys. So why does he bring them down? Seems pretty counterproductive, if you ask me. And again, I'm just a Dumas. A Daffy Dumas. Sonia, you're a dumbass. You don't go to church, obviously. You'd rather be here than go to church, because truth is sexy.
Hi, Mike. What is new at Leon's for the new year?
Hi, Sam. Thanks for asking that question.
中东。
并不是因果，因果是科学，绝对是存在的。
Yep. What up, Jack?
老天保佑，金山银山前路有。老天教唆别管江湖论武斗，老天叮嘱这辈子我散不丢，老天就怕346雷中打球。
Music. Tomatoes. It's one of the things I miss the most about the winter when it's wintertime. Is the tomatoes. I don't like preserved tomatoes and shit. I'm fresh. Like your mama. I love when people pretend like they just up. Not even 3 minutes into it, you just happen to cross this. It's not like you set your alarm or anything like that. It's not like you come here every day. You just happen to stumble across this feed. I believe it. Because the one thing we know about you friar pieces of shit is that you don't ever lie. Aw, you letting out your inner Williams? Yeah. Pooping in the morning. Not pooping? Lady peeing?
Yes, I'm way too tired.
You're too tired to stand up while you pee? Yes. Put that thing away, you're gonna scare people. Now you sound like mom. Coffee makes me poop too. Oh my god, are we BFFs? It's so cool. Coffee doesn't taste good. Like, you gotta add a bunch of sugar and cream to it to make it taste good. But then again, I guess that's the same thing with tea. Because that's what I do with my tea. I add a bunch of cream and sugar. Because I'm British like that. Oh yeah. I bet you leave. I bet that's the last comment you make and you don't keep watching. I bet that's how that works. You know that Karma Code song is like you would never expect some Chinese, Japanese, Americanese song to be about Jesus, about God, but that's what it is. Read the lyrics. It's fucking goofy, man. I know what's going on. Fat boy. You fat boy. Put the gun down, fat boy. I was married yesterday. Let me just do a quick share repair. Oh, okay, that was weird. Tried to end the stream. Let me just share with my friends. So yesterday, Mary sends me a video that is what's his name? Oh, hang on a second. It is the oh fuck. Is it Door? Is it Jimmy Door? Is that the name? I don't quite remember. But you see him all the time talking about stuff. And it was a video about Charlie Kirk and how Charlie was shot by a drone. And that's it was in a CIA operation, and like basically like it's not Israel. It wasn't Israel that did it. It's definitely not the lapel mic. All you people out there saying it's the lapel mic. It's not that. We promise. And I just, one of the things that I never see anyone address is the footage. Like the first actual piece of footage that was able to be seen, by the Goy that wasn't edited and whatnot. The first thing I saw, because I tried to find it a few different times, but I do remember seeing this like almost immediately. And so, hey buddy, apparently you're missing the point. So I'm just trying to help you. I'm trying to help you get right. Yeah, I know. That's what happens when you stay up way too late.
I didn't.
Oh yeah?
I stayed up till 1 and passed out.
No, because I went to bed at 1.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
No, you
Yeah.
Because Mom came down at 1 and tried to get us to go to bed.
Uh-huh. Come on. It's timey for you to wakey. You've got the poopy to cleany. Did you know I could speak Italian? Get up out of the bed. Gotta shake your hand when you do it. Get up and go cleaning the poopy. Clean the poopy. You gotta clean the poopy. Clean the poopy. My boy, clean the poopy. Clean the poopy. Clean the poopy. You as well have to clean the poopy. Necessarily, if God exists necessarily. Possibly God doesn't exist, therefore God doesn't exist. No, God doesn't exist because it's fake, stupid, Jewish fairy tale nonsense. And that's the only, definitively provable thing. It's clearly not real. Isn't real. Belge. Ooh, hot tea. That was my nickname in high school. Called me Hot Tea because it was a play on hottie. Hey, what's up, Hot Tea? Oh, it rained yesterday. but very, very little. Scotty doesn't know. Oh, fuck, I forgot to do it again. I keep forgetting to cover up the bee's nest. So every day I forget, it gets that much bigger. I was at a store I go to yesterday. And Leah Bia! And the guy was like, I gotta watch your podcast. I was like, I don't have a podcast, but I do have a live feed on YouTube. And he was like, yeah. I'm thinking, how do you know about anything of mine? And I was like, you gotta check this out. So then I show him the Rabbi Guy Williams page. And I'm like, look, Israel or somebody made this page, has 39 of the best AI videos you'll ever see. The most believable looking AI videos you'll ever see. It's all about yours truly. And he was like, oh my God. Have you seen this yet, Leo? I know you haven't been here in a couple days. I just gotta play this one more time.
Yep, what up, Jack?
老天保佑，金山银山前路有。老天教唆别管江湖龙虎斗。老天叮嘱这辈。
I just hate knowing that it's about fucking God. Stupid ass God. So Leah Bia, you search Rabbi Guy Williams, and I'm kind of disappointed they're not making new ones, especially knowing I've discovered the page. But yeah, this is somebody made all these videos about me. And where's my favorite one? I don't ever remember which one it is. They all look the same. It's got to be one with the more views on it because I keep walking it.
You know what's
No.
being God's.
What's going on, dude? 8:52. You want to see something crazy? Oh, you got. Okay, yep.
Yeah, I go to church. I meant to check my wife. She left out the fuck.
All good, man. Damn dumbass going to church.
Shalom, everyone. Today I'm sharing my friends. We must. The attacks on Palestine would be bad for Iran. Shalom, everyone.
It's so weird
I
to
want
look
to share
at it
something
when you
personal
skip
today.
through it because you look at where's this guy always looking off to?
It would be bad for Iran to have
Always
the
looking
attacks
in the
on
same
Palestine by
direction.
Israel. My friends, be cautious. Shalom, everyone. Today I'm sharing
See, they all
my faith.
look
If you
at the
have to
same direction.
resort to making fun of the size of somebody's genitalia or the way they look, they've already lost the argument. If you have to resort to making fun of the size of somebody's
Oh, yeah, I saw that wild. Scary, your stalker scary. If it was like a stalker, it'd be different. This is on a much higher level. Why would some random person, some random stalker, go through the trouble? One, go through the trouble. Two, how would they even do it? There was another dumbass, attempted to make a fake AI Guy Williams video, and it didn't look real at all. Like, this AI is on a level that is just, it's really,
You know what's really
well
cool?
done.
If you have to resort to making fun
I just love it.
of the size of somebody's genitalia or the way they look, they've already lost the argument.
I just love how stupid that whole thing is. If you have to resort to making fun of the size of somebody's genitalia, not making up a lie about somebody having a small micro penis, they're not saying that I'm lying. They're saying you're making fun of my tiny penis or how they look, because they obviously look ridiculous, but that they have already lost the argument is just fucking hilarious. Just fucking hilarious that you're that stupid. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That sounds right. Yeah. Come on. We're gonna get this before somebody takes it down. I have a feeling they're gonna take it down once they realize. How much I like it. Right? Oh, shit. What's up, Jim? Geez, good point. Right. Oh, so like, I'm sorry. The fact that, they say that, but then at the end they say, if you have to resort to making fun of the size of somebody's genitalia or how they look, they have already lost the argument. This is how stupid these inbred fucks are. It's either, you would say in that situation, either you have already lost the argument or they have already won the argument. You wouldn't say they have already lost the argument. You're basically saying, after you've crushed them so severely with everything else, now you might as well make fun of their penises. I mean, it's pretty fucking funny.
If you have to Shalom everyone.
Shalom,
Today I'm sharing
everyone.
my favorite parts of the Talmud.
Shalom,
the section
everyone.
on tzedakah or charity shows how giving transforms us. And Pirkei
And then
Avot
look at how
teaches us
well
to
this
seek
is
peace.
done.
And
This isn't just like this isn't some fucking just goofy ass video. Right? This isn't some just some this is really well done. This isn't, I don't think anybody could do it. I'd love to see somebody do it. Right? I'm sure they can't be within 500 feet of the school. Like, again, when you have to make shit up, there's nothing you can't debunk me. You can't best me in any sort of debate or any sort of with facts. Then you start making up dumb shit. It's just weird. Well, I'd bring up your mom, but that's more of train, right? Running a train. Yep. Again, more. If I was actually Jewish, or at least was raised in the cult, wouldn't it make more sense for me to acknowledge it and then brag about how I was raised in this cult and I saw through it? I'm a better person than every single one of them that's involved, and so I left. What would be the point in hiding it? It's just interesting that this is how they do it, man. This is how their bullshit. This is just how they do it. They're so inbred and stupid. You just have to understand that. This is the best they can come up with, right? This isn't like, this isn't like some half-assed effort. And if it was, I challenge you, do it yourself. Somebody make even one fake rabbi guy as a fucking dressed in something different, change the hair and everything, and yet have the speech line up and it'd be a believable thing. Like if you weren't like close to me, and you saw the video, you wouldn't be forgiven if you were like, oh shit. I can't believe guys done this, blah, blah, blah. I'm an agent for the Mossad. That wouldn't surprise me. You're fucking dumb, really dumb pieces of shit, so why would that be surprising? Mossad members, friars in general, you're pedophiles, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, you're not going to get any sort of evidence. They love making claims and then not providing it. Like, can you imagine if I did and said all the things I do and say and didn't come with the receipts all the time? The description of this video is full of fucking receipts. Oh look, dumbass is back again. Came to get some more from Daddy. Please, Daddy, give me more. Like Leah's a diehard supporter, man. Leah and I go way back. She's always been there. She's just a cool broad, down to earth, all that shit. And she catches as many feeds as she can. She has a life. She has other shit going on. She's not like you guys who are here every single day, crying and begging. Guy, give me attention. Guy, give me attention. It's really, really strange. Please name one good point you made. Yeah, you wasted me. Give us one example of it. I'd love to see how the doofus pedophile said something that wastes me. Yeah. People love a trade rack, good entertainment. Yeah, that makes total sense. You're just going to keep going back to it. There's all the things Sunday morning of all times. Sunday morning, 8:30, 9 in the morning. It's not like you have somebody nice to snuggle up next to. It's not like you have anything going on in your world. Now, mind you, in his world, it's probably like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. But nothing going on. And so you're here again for what's going to be hours of begging for attention from someone you don't like, you don't agree with. Everything they do is just so obvious. And it's always these fake, stupid profiles. Like, look at this. This dumbass is joined 3 months ago, has 1 subscriber. You really think that's a real person? You really think that's just some real person they made their page just so they could watch me? It's really interesting. I saw you yesterday. You were like a petulant child. Yeah. Everything about him screams Jew. And of course, they're so embarrassed by their own shit. But a lot of times, either they sort of admit it, claim to be proud of it, and then don't like actually show any sort of pride in anything, or explain anything, or engage in anything that would show you that, you know, they know their shit, or the like deny elements of their shit, like they're not proud of it, right? And then there's the other side that pretends not to be, you know, pretends like they're not a friar, or pretends to be a Christian and shit like that. Ken piece of shit, right? These guys are so obsessed, and it's interesting, right? You are so hurtful, you bigot. Yeah, that's me. Sorry, it's not a trait of the friars. Belch. You know, this is such an open, you know, open feed for truth. If there's anything wrong with what's being said, then say it. Oh, look at, I have 0 viewers, 4 likes and 0 viewers. How many people can you see commenting? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 people commenting. Not including Leah. Leah's hasn't commented for a minute, so I might assume Leah's doing something. She's a pretty busy broad. She's a busy broadie. You see 5 likes. Why would you see 5? Ugh. You know, and of course, it just comes down to, like, just fucking basic common sense. Like, how do you think the algorithm works? I mean, I know most of us don't know about that kind of shit, right? But I'll tell you how my dumbass thinks it works, right? You go live, you do your thing. The more people, like if I was designing the algorithm, this is how I would make it work. The more people that are commenting on a video, and the more likes the video gets, especially compared to the view ratio. So if the video has 5 likes and 5 viewers, well, it must be doing something right. So you start pushing it out. And you see what happens. If the more you push the thing out, does he end up with more viewers? You know, do more people click on it? Do more people stay on it? Do more people comment? Do more people, like, how does that work? Right? That would be, that's how I would, you know, dumb Goyim would make the algorithm work if I had access to it. 2 viewers, 5 likes. Don't make no sense. Well, it does make sense. I have to stop saying it. I always have to check myself. It don't make no sense as far as the way that we're told things work. It totally makes sense if you're talking about censorship, interference, you know, that kind of shit. I stand for Palestine. I'm called a terrorist. Here, I'm labeled a Jew. Yeah, I'm sure you do. I'm sure there's all sorts of evidence of you standing for Palestine with your 3-month-old profile and your 1 subscriber. For sure. You know, you wouldn't be able to question that with me. You know? There's nothing about anything I do that would make you think I'm a friar, I'm an Israel supporter, you know, fucking anything like that. I go out of my way to prove the other one, the other side. Yep, your Y-O-U-R, still a bigot. Your Y-O-U apostrophe R-E, still really stupid. Typical friar, screwing up the easy ones. I love how they just keep doing it, right? They keep doing it, and then they get caught, and they're like, oh, yeah. Now he's gonna go off on some grammar, G-R-A-M-M-E-R tangent. It's so interesting to me. It's so, this is the obvious side of things. They're not gonna walk around with a fucking sign around their neck saying, I'm act.il. I'm here to disrupt. I'm here to pit the Goyim against each other. I'm really an inbred fucking piece of shit pedo friar. I mean, I know when you see that star, you can usually assume that's the case. But in this situation, we can only see what's presented. And this is it. The more you stick with the truth, the more they hate you. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, very specific truth, right? You can talk about whatever. As long as you're not talking about them, they don't care about what you're talking about. You do more harm than good for the cause. Mm-hmm. I'm sure I do. I'm sure I do. I'm sure the Palestinians are like, that damn guy Williams. Like, it's so stupid. And again, I'm not even sure what the cause you're talking about is. The cause is eradicating the friar cancer. So as far as that goes, I'm very good. Super number one. Okay, tough guy. Super cool. How about basic human rights? Just sure. What? What's up, Matt? It's always funny when they try to pretend, like when they try to pass off that they're not friars. Or they try to pass off that they're not pedos. I swear, if I ever saw anyone doing what you're saying, I would intervene. And before anybody got hurt, I would not allow. Like, it's just so stupid. Ouch. Almost got through the playlist yesterday. I think, yeah, we stepped on Julie Swetnick, so let's start with Julie Swetnick again.
My friends and I.
Yeah, human rights are a joke, but grandma is vital.
Still like beer. We drank beer. The drinking age, as I noted, was 18, so the senior.
You always know when somebody's a dumbass. When they defend mistakes.
Yeah, we drank beer.
If it's truly a mistake, then you have no problem addressing it, right? Whether it's... this is actually better. Let's start with Ice Age. Real decent people, they go, fuck, you caught me. Actually, I got caught the other day. I corrected somebody's your, and I was incorrect. I had read it wrong. And he jumped all over me, like, what the fuck, bro. And all I could say was, yeah, you're right, you got me. I fucked up. And I'm just so used to dealing with dumb white guys who don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Oh, look, I have 0 viewers again. Yeah, no, it's not a mistake. Right, that's what I mean. It's not a mistake. Yeah. Well, it's a mistake if you, again, you see it, you go, oh shit, I made a mistake. Everybody can understand making mistakes. I fucking hit the wrong thing, blah, blah, blah. But when you continuously do something, you continuously make that same mistake, and then if it's pointed out to you, you cry and defend it, well, trying to act like it's not a big deal. Obviously, it's a big deal. The guy jumped all over me. Any point I made after that was moot.
Those who pay the bill from Israeli pieces of shit laughing, seeing it's real. Watching colored bombs blasting homes for gender reveal. There's children bombed while living since the house is built with bomb vibration.
Nah, I think shut up. Just shut up. Question is, what really matters? A space before a comma and you want to. Yeah, again, I love it. Oh, because what you say matters so much. We should skip over your stupidity and just give you credit for the incredible things you're saying. Get the fuck out of here. Being intelligent and spelling things correctly and punctuating things correctly is not any extra effort. And if it was extra effort, the fact that you wouldn't do it just shows you what a piece of shit you are. You know, if you wouldn't do what it takes to make sure that your shit's on point, and then you defend not doing, what's up, Algo? It just shows who you are. Idiots pulling us down. It's not that simple. Because they attach themselves to so many things in your life that they're pulling you down in many different ways. The biggest weapon used against us is the religion. There's all these dumbasses who believe their goofy god is Israel. You are always correcting spellings like it means anything. You're Y-O-U-R, so bother people shit. It's amazing how stupid they are. I don't care what you say. If you can't get it right, you're just proving the point. Oh no, you actually used it correctly on accident, I guess, huh? If it didn't matter, you guys would just accept it. You know how much it matters. That's why you try to defend it so much. And remember, this is a pissing contest. This is to see who the smarter one is. You want people to believe that you're smarter than I am. And that your opinions and your misspelled, poorly punctuated fucking comments, they're more important. They're better than what I'm saying. And you're giving yourself away. If you're trying to correct me, but you can't even spell it right, you're a fucking idiot. Nobody should believe you. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, well that's a fucking idiot, right? Yeah. You believe in aliens? Why? What evidence do you have to believe aliens are real? And then what evidence do you have that those aliens, if you do believe it, are from distant galaxies and all that good shit? Here we go. Another one of these things where I'm supposed to prove something doesn't exist. And that makes sense. It is intelligent to argue about grammar mistakes. No. There's no argument here. It's pointing out your stupidity and then you doubling down on it, showing you're a fucking moron. And then tripling down by pretending you can't understand the point. Bill, I don't understand. It's pretty silly. And you see it too, like look at how they're so quick to cry about the grammar thing. Yet they have nothing to say about the pedophilia. They have nothing to say about Mishnah Nada 5:4, metzitzia, soul correction, genocide. He does pretend, I stand with Palestine. No, I do. I just don't know anything about it. So interesting. It's so interesting. Back again, being willfully ignorant. Worst of humans, yes. What is that terrible music? Shit music. It's the shit music. Oh, it's so bad. I don't like you. I don't like what you do. I don't like listening to you. I don't like anything about you, guy. I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, it's so fucking funny. All humans are the same. We live and we die. Make your time count. Well, make it better for the people that come after you.
Like beer, still like beer. We drank beer at the drinking age, as I noted, was 18, so the seniors
I
was
just
legal.
love it.
Yes, we drank beer, liked beer, still like beer. We drank beer at the drinking age, as I noted, was 18, so the seniors were legal. Senior year in high school, people were legal to drink, and we drank beer. And I said sometimes probably had too many beers, and sometimes other people had too many beers. We drank beer. We liked beer.
That's a Supreme Court justice. That's a Supreme Court justice just before he got appointed. Like that's how well this man handles pressure. That's the intelligence he brings to the table, and he's hanging out, or he's not. He's in charge, or he holds people's lives in his hands. He makes decisions that affect the entire world, basically. Like, that's insane. Only if I would make fun of someone with a brain issue. They think medical, or they think mental illness is hilarious. They think mental illness is like, if you can see it, if you look back at old TV, like if you really look at how different the United States was, the world was, but the United States was, when they had a much tighter grip on things. Before we had the internet, before people of color were allowed, like, that the Black Panther movie, I don't remember if it's the second one or the first one, but either way, we're talking into the 2000 teens. That was the first big, major blockbuster movie where it was all black people all the way through. Do you understand how ridiculous that is? But if you look at how they had us behaving, look at the old like Friday the 13th movie, or where the girls are just fucking whores. Everybody's just fucking sleeping around like it's no big deal. No consequences whatsoever from it. But there's always the nerd And the nerd is who gets picked on. Fucking Revenge of the Nerds is a great movie. And it shows you that deep down, we all sided with the nerds way more than we sided with the jocks. You know, there were way, way more nerds than there were jocks. We just didn't know it. And you start looking at things, and you see what their beer. We like beer. You see, the way they molded our society, and we played along, but we were rejecting it. Everybody rooted for the nerds. Not everybody. Most people rooted for the nerds. If you look at old cartoons and shit, especially the old cartoons. I don't know if you remember that cartoon, Bats in the Belfry. It's a very, very common formula where there's 3 or 4 of characters, cats or whatever it is in their little group. And there's always, the leader of the group is always an asshole. And there's always some dummy, someone who can't speak or even look at Lion King. Lion King was a great Ed. Ed was like retarded or something. And they were mean to Ed. But you look at how they taught us to behave forever. And because they had their claws in it like they did, you didn't see much difference. You saw the same archetype over and over and over again. I mean, just look at like June Cleaver, Father Knows Best. Like lots of times you either saw shit where the mother was dead, My 3 Sons and shit like that, or you saw like, the Brady Bunch, a great example of. I don't know if you ever saw the pilot or the first episode of the Brady Bunch. I don't think I've seen the whole thing, but there are clips from it. And basically, the mom died like within a year or something. It wasn't that long before they hooked up. And you see that like Mom Brady is treated like she's one of the kids. She acts like she's scared of Mr. Brady, like he's her daddy too. And watch Leave It to Beaver. And June is like, she's a nutcase. But whenever things get difficult, she runs and tells Dad. And Dad will be sitting in the den, reading his paper or whatever, and then stands up and he tightens his tie up and he goes and he handles the problem. Really strange. One of my favorite crazy ass episodes of Leave It to Beaver is Wally gets a haircut, and instead of his standard haircut, he like goes like greaser looking. He pushes his hair up, and it like curls up, and then it's like a greaser haircut, And she is so upset about it. And, Paul Cleaver's like, oh, June, they're just boys and they have to, and she's like, no, this is a terrible haircut. I can't believe he's doing this. And he looks like a hoodlum, and she's just so upset about it. She ends up going to the school to have a meeting with the principal to see if he will outlaw the haircut, because he has to do something. He has to stop these kids from brushing their hair in a way she doesn't like. And even he's like, oh, you dumb girl. Yeah, you might not like it, but if we outlaw it, it'll just push them to do it more. And like, oh, I just can't. I don't know what to do. And it all culminates in like she just has like this spaz out, like, no, you don't have this haircut. You need to go change your. And he's like, whoa, mom, I didn't know you didn't like it. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. And he goes and he changes his hair, and I mean, it's just so fucking ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Obviously, you all care about what I say. That's why you keep coming back over and over, day after day, week after week, month after month. Keep begging for my attention. It's pretty obvious. You gives the crap.
It's time to go straight to the proudly antiseptic.
I just want to cleanse the world. I'm proudly antiseptic. Zero viewers, 7 likes, as always, because that always makes sense. That's how the YouTubes work. And of course, a good portion of the 0 that are watching are Jewish, which again totally makes sense. They make up 0.183% of the world's population. Meaning for every one of them that's here, there should be 550 or so regular good people here. For that representation, for that to be accurate, those numbers to be accurate. And yet, there's, at least half of them, right? Whoa, what a surprise. Oh, what a surprise. The person who doesn't like me is Jewish. Oh, what a surprise. Yet another Mishnah Nada pedophile. Yep, totally homeless, yeah. Yeah. I am shocked. We are talking about fucking pedophiles here.
Kaepernick was top 3 at his position and stood up to the masters with control of our decision. Calling out the bastard pricks, exposing our
You guys want to know what the secret is? What the wall is? See, this is the thing they don't want us talking about, and they're not gonna address this. This guy's gonna get a life. Oh, get a life. He's not gonna address what I'm about to say. He's probably gonna cry about it, actually. And you know what? Nobody gives a crap about what I'm saying. So, wouldn't it not even matter? That's weird. What the hell just happened? That was strange. Back. LeBron James again. Apparently, he wanted to hear LeBron James again. All right.
Declaration said enough. Just like how they tell the poor they should be acting tough since the going has gone out the door.
What the fuck?
When we see the shows corrupt and how they fuck us in the butt, if the Goyim make demands, they just command us all to shut our mouths and just do what the chosen say to do. They lie to us so much we think their fairy tales are true. Shut up and drip, shut up, shut up and drip, shut up.
What the fuck is going on here?
Shut up and drip, shut up, shut up and drip, shut up.
Not working. Alright, so we'll just go back to the Google machine.
It doesn't matter how you pray, just
Definitely weird.
shut up and dribble. Shut up and dribble. We'll take your life away if you don't shut up and dribble.
Okay, so cfaria.org. Right? Cfaria.org is the official Jewish library on online Jewish library. You want to know stuff about them and their cult, this is where you go. Here is the Hebrew translation. But here's what it says. It says, a girl who is 3 years and 1 day old, whose father has arranged her betrothal, meaning he sold her. That's what the betrothal means in this context. An adult male selects which one of his daughters he wants. They work out the cost, which is, the standard is 50 shekels or 100 dinars. And once the transaction is made, she is betrothed through intercourse, as the halalchic status of the intercourse with her is that of intercourse in all halalchic senses. Meaning ownership takes place. He now owns her. And in the case where the childless husband of a 3 years and 1 day old dies, remember, she's childless because she's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Of course she's going to be childless. This is the fuckery that they do to you. She's childless because she's she's a fucking child. Children don't have children. But her husband is 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years old and he dies. If his brother, the Yavam, engages in intercourse with her, he acquires her as his wife. Makes sense, right? How many of you out there fantasize about your brother's wife? Man, I sure wish something would happen to him where he'd die, and then I can rape his wife, and now she's my wife. Like, what the fuck? Sure does sound like property. And if a man other than her husband, is liable for engaging in intercourse with her, due to violation of the prohibition against intercourse with a married woman. There's no prohibitions about intercourse with children. Matter of fact, it's so commonplace they have to set the rules for it. But if she's somebody else's property, that's when you break the law. The Jewish man is the king of the world, and even amongst each other, you can be in serious violation if you try to take another man's property. If you find a wallet on the ground and it belongs to a Jewish person, you have to use every resource possible to get that wallet back to them exactly as you found it. If it's a Goyim wallet, keep that shit. Like it's their shit is just so gross. What are we discussing here? Discussing here says Barbie badass. We're discussing how disgusting the Friar cult is. And if she is less than that age, younger than 3 years and 1 day, the status of the intercourse with her is not that of intercourse in all halalchic senses. Meaning, you don't own her. Okay? If she's not yet 3 years and 1 day, it's just intercourse. Rather, it is like placing a finger into the eye. Just as in that case, the eye constricts, sheds tears, and then returns to its original state, so too in a girl younger than 3 years and 1 day old, the hymen returns to its original state. Who believes that? Friars and fixed don't belong in the same sentences. Well, fixing the friar issue is a big deal. We definitely need to do that. Don't. Look how stupid all these comments are. There's nothing wrong with the world. The world is a beautiful place. It's absolutely who we allow to control the narrative in this world that's the problem. Why are you obsessed with the Jews and pedophiles? What are you actually doing about it? You're only damaging your own mental health. You're stuck in a loop. You're literally walking in circles. And it seemingly bothers you so much. For what reason? You come here every day crying and trying to get attention because I'm wrong and I'm crazy? Gee, that's weird. I see a lot of fucking feeds where nothing is happening, and I never see you on any of those feeds trying to tell anybody else, hey, stop doing what you're doing. Stop. You stop doing what you want to do with your own time. This is what I do. I go around and I tell other people to stop doing stuff. Pretty fucking silly. Pretty sure I'm still gonna if you just heard what I read you and it doesn't make you go, yeah, fuck that, I don't care what Grammy Graham says or anything like that, I'm not a part of this shit, and she's fucked up for being in it, well, you're part of the problem. I don't watch you every day. Sure you don't. Sure you don't. I guess you probably take Saturdays off, right? Yeah, well, that makes sense. If you're YOUR. It's amazing how proud of stupidity people can be. And then they wonder why they're not taken seriously. Seems pretty fucking obvious to me. But back to the wall. Right? Why is nobody talking about this? Mishnah Nadah 5:4. Look at all the crybaby on here. Like anything I do in my life is worse than Mishnah Nadah 5:4. Like anything I do is worse than metzitzia buffet. And of course, soul correction being like the culmination of it all. It's amazing how nobody knows about that shit.
Our anthems like good sheep who just keep falling from a flight of stairs that's made of clearly cheap materials, complete with a typical your fault story. Our serial defeat ends with our Goyim glory. Trump is back on TV trial, but where are the Epstein tapes? Oh yeah, Diddy's gone completely wild, but where are the Epstein tapes? Israel's so disgusting.
They have you distracted by stupid files.
They have you chasing your tail. Meanwhile, where are the friggin' Epstein tapes? ISIS hit Russia in typical
They have tapes. They found tapes in the safe. Tapes that were labeled with the famous person's name, the name of the victim, the girl, and how old she was.
But where are the friggin' Epstein tapes?
Look at how stupid this is. Like, I love when people acknowledge that they're Jewish. Like, we don't know that. If you're in here for some sort of negative purpose, if you're not like, fuck yeah, kill pedos, then we already know you're Jewish. You've already outed yourself. The stupidity in which you present yourself already outs you. Look at me, 0 viewers and 10 likes. Because that's how normal shit works.
Hey, yo, I'd like to make 6 million pizzas. How long do you think it would take? It's as ridiculous as their metzitzia to think I could successfully make 6 million of anything. Fake stories are all that one has if they tell you that someone can make 6 million of something. And look into their eyes while you ask for an answer to the simplest question. If the narrative lost in the math is the truth just the winner's invention, maybe lies just another extension, bridging the gaps of illusion, keeping our class of detention ensures the constant state. The math just isn't mathing, so you're lying. You act just like you're grasping bottled lightning. While the last ones who are laughing push the pie thing, attacking anyone who's asking or denying. The pizza is the gate to the surprising, keeping you in faith while they're supplying. The reason it's
I hope not.
fake, they're compromising.
At least you're in the right
Math
spot
just
if you're
doesn't
not.
master it, so they're lying. Let's just go by the numbers. Awaken from your slumber like mushrooms to a plumber. You need to grow up. You know you would like lumber. You wicked smart over dumber. Juice inside the tumbler puts the poison in the cup. But let's just
Great
get
line.
back to what I was trying to figure out. Stories so corrupt.
Fuck, dude.
Cooking a pizza takes about 5 minutes, so it's weird because
Spencer
30
Reed
dozen
sucks.
is about 57 friggin' years.
Are you aware there's a delay in the chat? So when you say, oh, no, it's you.
Act just like you're grasping
I think if you're not a fucking dumb inbred fryer, you can probably keep up with the chat.
attacking anyone who's asking or denying.
Fuck.
The pizza is the gate to the surprising, keeping
Right.
you in faith while they're
Right.
supplying. The reason
How's
it's
it, bud?
all fake, they're
I
compromising.
pounded the shit out of that last
The
night.
math just
Literally.
doesn't master it, so they're
It's all over the
lying.
bed.
So if I ended up succeeding with my 6 million pizza goal, would you say it's lies and cheating? If I said I made the goal in just 4 years, would you be troll or would you every word?
Poppy and Junior.
4,000 plus pizzas per day, a troll you wisely call absurd. Does 3 made every minute work in anyone's equation? Are you more or less assured you have the accurate information? Someone lies for you, that demand you give them favor. Do you call it out as brazen or do you whip
I mean, at
out
the end of the day,
lies?
like, seriously, unless you're here in support of what I do, why would anybody come here day after day after day? I play my shitty music, I talk about the same things, I fucking roast you. Like, what is the incentive for anybody that's in the negative side of things. Just seems fucking weird.
Pizza and man. I don't know why anybody would think there's anything more going on here. Come on, it's just pizza and man. Whatever gates you go through,
Yeah.
get your hands
Live streaming and asking why people watch, right? Because you know there's like a million other live streams happening right now, and you're here. So there's got to be a reason for it. And whatever it is, I mean, I'm already winning. You know, if this is the choice you make over all the other choices, I'm already winning. Whatever dumb fucking shit you come up with. But especially when you consider that, you know, this is the feed where we say we should kill pedos. We should overthrow the friars and make the world a better place. You have to wonder who you'd have to wonder who's upset about it.
Mental illness isn't funny, yet if you've ever spoken out against supremacism, you know that's their only argument.
Only one.
Right, Shmuley?
Right, Shmuley?
Act.il has been exposed for opposing what we say. They scream and yell when eyes once closed, show how consistently they play a victim when the ray of light shines upon their ruse. Calling spades a spade, we may just want to use the way that they abuse as clues to their intent. They're paid to confuse, but they're too stupid to defend. The excuses they pretend aren't offensive at their core, and yet they're most elusive when you mention it's genocide, not war.
Sounds like somebody we know.
Meds, take them. Take your meds, take them. Take your meds, take them. Take your meds, take your meds. Take your meds, take them. Take your meds, take them.
Take your
Take
meds.
your meds, take them. Take your meds, take your meds. You should take your meds. You must be schizophrenic. That's only one side of the story instead of what we represented. The stories they've invented with their sick, twisted, demented cult that is at fault for the appalling trick presented as the calling which prevented the First Amendment's main attraction, involving speech that gets defended by the pen with which a fraction of the population happens to imagine what prevails. Then they put us in attraction when their machination fails.
Ooh.
Every time we call you out and you don't like what's being said, it's schizo-babble. Schizo-babble. Auto-augmented patients loud. He keeps your delusions fed with schizo-babble. Schizo-babble. If we say we're going proud and we
Jesus, we got 10 and 10. Holy shit.
Schizo-babble.
Why are they letting
And when the
people
truth
here
is
now?
all around, but you need to hide instead, it's schizo-babble. Schizo-babble. They turn trolling into a video game. We're shaming these surprises. And what we're told to call insane should be blamed for all the lies. Fame that compromises even the wisest of the truth. They frame the same surprises that divide us and repeat. The denial that completes the discrete distraction circle. The trolls are vile and they cheat. Defeating them means they are Kirk will beat them unmerciful.
We beat them unmerciful.
Act.il is how they work until the world gives every us the fire of which none fight for. Metzitzia buffet, genocide and systemic supremacy.
Michigan.
Every time we call you out and you don't like what's being said, it's so
Oh, like you just said, how do we stop this feed? Come on, he's telling too much truth. He's making us look too stupid. Like, again, why would you care? I got 12 viewers. What would that even matter? Seems like you would have other shit to do. Rathbone kicks way more ass than I do, right?
Take your meds, take your meds, take your
So you don't answer questions. You don't know about the chat delay. You You walking in circles listening to schizo music. There you go. And you should really wash your hair. For a friar to talk about somebody washing, that's just hilarious. We all know you're well known for your fucking hygienic needs or hygienic practices, right? Get the fuck out of here. They're so stupid. So tell me something real. You Mishnah Nada pedos, for real, need to be eradicated. Mental health, there we go. Auto emancipation. If somebody speaks out against the friars, they have oh shit, I'm really blanking on this. Oh no, I gotta look this shit up. What the fuck is wrong with me right now? Good thing it's so easy to find. Getting old, man. Getting old means you just don't remember shit like you should. I'll just read it to you, the whole thing. So, auto emancipation is a pamphlet written in German by Russian, Polish, Jewish doctor and activist Leon Pinsker in 1882. Not true. First of all, he's a Russian Polish guy, so how and why and how was he anonymously writing a pamphlet in Germany? It appeared in Germany. He wasn't there, but somehow he, emailed his friend in Germany, and I don't know, but it was anonymously written, and it was attributed to him later in life. It might even be after his death. It also says he's a Russian, Polish, Jewish doctor. Well, he's only a doctor because Jews weren't allowed to practice law in Russia at the time. But he got his law degree anyway, and then just decided that he was going to be a doctor instead. Because that's how shit worked in the 1882s. It is considered a founding document of modern Jewish nationalism, especially Zionism. So again, this is the whole idea of we need to go back and make take Palestine and create Israel and all that. It sort of starts with this in the historical narrative, sort of. Because this is modern Zionism. Notice how he says modern Zionism. Well, prior to this was something they call proto-Zionism, which is literally the same thing. It's just this date, this pamphlet is sort of where it comes from. But this is sort of the beginning, the first Aliyah. The Baron Redshield steps in and buys everything up and then hands it to them. 1883, like this is all right in the same spot. Pinsker discusses the origins of anti-Semitism. First thing, not discusses why friars are so great or why this, that, and the other. The first thing he talks about, and the first thing this talks about, is what everybody just hates us. Why does everybody hate us for no reason? And this is, again, this didn't really exist. Like this whole narrative of them being hated was created to unify the people. Right? And so once they started unifying because of their hatred, the other side obviously is going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? And it's going to create that division. That's what they sort of discussed when they came up with these plans. At least, again, according to the bullshit history they give us, right? I'm not saying any of it's true or anything. I'm just saying this is the narrative they give us. Pinsker discussed the origins of anti-Semitism and argued for Jewish self-rule and the development of a Jewish national consciousness. Again, the development of it didn't exist. They weren't being hated. they created all these fake narratives about them. There was an attack. There was an attack on the Jewish people in this small little neighborhood that nobody's heard of. There was an attack here. There was this. There was like the idea that Jews by the Russians were so persecuted that they were pushed to their own small, tight-knit communities that had buildings and resources and, you know, seemed like everything was cool. But then you would hear about these really bad pogroms that would happen every so often. No evidence for it. Just narratives that were, you know, printed in the friar-owned press, just like it was back then, or just like it is now. It was back then. They controlled the narrative. He wrote that Jews would never become the social equals of us dumb Goyim until they had a state of their own. He called on Jewish leaders to convene and address the problem, which is where the World Zionist Congress comes from, or conference comes from. In the pamphlet, this is what I was getting to, he describes anti-Jewish attacks, meaning you not believing in their supremacy, as a psychosis, a pathological disorder, and an irrational phobia. So, on paper, ever since 1882, say they're schizo, say they're crazy, they have a psychosis, they have an irrational phobia, you know, they have mental disorders. That's literally been their only option. And somebody doesn't think that we should rule over everybody and be allowed to rape children. There's something wrong with them. They had an entire region of their own. How did they not have a developed sense of community, etc.? The entire narrative we're given regarding Jewish history and all that is bullshit. The fact that they get away with saying, well, there's no real accounts of any sort of Jewish history, it doesn't appear till way later than everybody else's. It's because everything of theirs was oral. It was an oral tradition. They didn't write things down. The smartest, best people didn't write shit down and were just playing, you know, centuries-long games of telephone. It's just stupid, right? It's just stupid. And then when you understand that Hebrew is the youngest language on the planet, Hebrew was invented in the late 1800s, early 1900s, by a guy called Eliezer Ben Yehuda. And you know, they basically took Arabic, put a mirror up to it, and wrote it that backwards ass way, and they're like, look, it's Hebrew. They invented their language. Eliezer Ben Yehuda's son is the first native speaker, Hebrew speaker in modern times. And it was like 1903 when the book was when he invented the first Hebrew dictionary in 1903. And his son became the first person to actually speak it, you know, as his first language. It's fucking stupid, man. Yeah, the Old Testament of the Bible. That is their history book. I don't care what you tell about. Okay. The Bible is a fake story. Yeah. But as far as, like, you know, history of theirs through the hundreds, you know, the early hundreds and into the thousands, they don't have anything like that. Damn it. Connected to the car. Okay, so you don't believe their history books. That's cool. But that's your belief. That's your belief, bro. Yeah, just like this is my feed. What the fuck's wrong with you? If I'm wrong, it shouldn't be a big deal. If I'm wrong, you shouldn't pay so much attention. Weird how you pay so much attention. Oh, guess what? I'm coming upstairs to hang out. Yeah.
Like your silly defense.
Boy, hey.
The messenger's death is
I need to bring a cup
you
in.
can't understand it. The advantage is lost. The man is your boss. You love You think the beginning, the dimming of our lights, is something more like
What's up, dude?
I'm just joshing. See, we seal our coffin. We are the cause, and we are completely affected. There's nothing coming out of that. Nothing coming out of that.
Oh, boy.
Franken skies, high blanket lies, but there's nothing coming out of that. Nothing coming out of that. There's nothing coming out of that plane.
Again, it seems weird that for some random guy to just be so wrong that you're upset about it. Huh? What? No, I've learned not to breathe it in. Yeah. Gotta love the armpit smell. The funny thing is, like, I remember, I remember my mom saying it all the time, like, God, you stink, smells like boys in here. I'd be like, what are you talking about? Because you don't realize it, but yeah, boys are stinky.
Seriously, that downstairs is like, oh my god. It hit me like the wall.
It hits you like Mishnah Nadah, 5-4, the wall.
No.
And truth comes from serving Big Brother.
Yeah, but it hits you right in the face when you hear it. I have to urinate, so please engage with the, I don't know, strange amount of Jewish trolls I have for somebody that's wrong.
The strange amount? I'm assuming strange means large amount. Oh.
It's a big percent.
It's a big percent. I told ya. It's a very armpity. Stupid boys. Sorry, he broke his pop socket off his back of his phone, so my stupid hands have a hard time hanging on to said phone when I'm doing other shit. Oh my goodness. So nice to meet you. Oh my goodness. We're gonna have a beautiful day here in Michigan. It's supposed to be like 78 and sunny. Perfect. Why are you with this clown? Can you please ask him to wash his hair? Thank you. Oh my god, you guys are hilarious. Hilarious. Wash his hair. Because you like boys that have what? The fresh wet look? Out of the shower. Is that what it is? Is that why you want him to wash his hair?
I think they want to watch me shower.
Ew.
My wife doesn't even want to watch me shower.
It's time for the ball flatline. It's time for the ball flatline.
Have a blessed day. I hate when people say that shit to me. Just to see what they say.
We hardly know shit. Think about it. We grip the
Maybe I should just take it as they're trying to start the conversation. You know, I should just use that to launch into an Israel tirade and how you're just a dumb sheep told to believe in a fake Jewish savior. I think that's probably why they would just randomly, blurt some shit out like that, like if they're at their job or wherever. Why would you initiate a conversation you didn't want to have? Kind of weird. So killing pedophiles, vigilante justice, ooh, that's a rough cough. Are you okay? Yeah, you know me, I'm always talking about vigilante justice. Oh, look. Dumbass John's here. Go figure. He was like, hey, there's not enough stupid in the comments.
There must be something with that name.
No, it's just common. There's a lot of people named John, so there's a really good chance
I think he backed all the Johns that I knew, and they were all pretty fucking dumb, quite honestly.
My buddy John Holloway, different John, the one that I did the painting job with. He is really smart, like really, really smart. He was socially awkward, and like I could not understand why the kid, like his style was like wearing leather jackets. I always thought he was such a dork. He was such a dork, but he was really smart. He did sound dumb. Yeah, he had that voice, but he was really smart. He was just so socially awkward. And John might have come across as dumb, but he was smart enough to make millions of dollars. I do, though, think he might be into something bad. I think he might be a bad guy.
Who?
John. The John you know.
This one?
No. My friend John.
Oh.
He his girlfriend's like some Colombian broad, and there's some sort of, I don't know. He just interesting.
Trafficking.
Something.
Funny, back in like 20 years ago when you'd say trafficker, you'd automatically think drugs. Now you say trafficker and you have to, like,
Differentiate.
yeah, between, sex and drugs.
I mean, it's just not something that you thought of as a kid. Like that, when we were kids, that didn't.
I don't think it was as prevalent as it is today.
It was just hidden because we didn't have the internet and we couldn't communicate with each other. Them giving us the internet was the dumbest thing they could have ever done. That gave us the ability to communicate with each other and be like, hey, did you know, is this happening where you are? And be like, yeah, I thought we were unique in that. And you find out. They did such a good job back then of, the priest would rape a child, and it might be a story in whatever town it was, so they would just send the priest to a different fucking state, across the country or something. And there was no way the people in California were going to hear about news from Boston or, Virginia or some shit, and vice versa. And so they were just, they were committing these atrocities. It was just hidden. Kids were getting, you know how much easier it was to kidnap children back then? You think it's worse today because you hear about it. I mean, back in the day, if the cops was chasing somebody, if they got to the county line and they got past the county line, the cop had to stop. And they could just go. And there was no communication between districts and computers and all that. Once you escaped the area, you were fucking scot-free. If your child went missing prior to 86, went missing, the police would say, all right, we'll wait 72 hours. And if you don't hear from him, then give us a call. He probably ran away. And 72 hours if you don't get calls back. Nowadays, they have a TV show called The First 48 because they know that unless they solve the crime in the first 48 hours, they're probably not going to. Especially if it's some sort of kidnapping. But that's how our society was structured back then. And you think that people weren't kidnapping children left and right back then? There weren't cameras everywhere. There weren't phones. There weren't alerts going out letting you know to look out for this car or whatever.
Stressing to get the next miracle out on the market. I saw a miracle about a year ago. Some guy tried suicide by sliding his Jeep onto the train tracks. To make sure the impact followed the metal, he douses his Jeep in gas and gets strapped. Along comes a train that is gained full speed, and that shell of a man's plan begins to recede. He leaps from his cars, he falls to his knees, he prays as he bleeds at the train doesn't stop. Hitting his cars, it spins like a top. Derailing, it flops like a fish out of water.
Sounds
The tracks on hold, switching collars, and smashing a car alone, just stalled there, jackknifing and hitting another train full of scholars. Mothers, daughters, fathers on their way home from work, all caught in one big circle jerk, yet hurt. The only one. Sure, a miracle was mentioned. I think the fact your God ended on survived, landed his wings, spin his eyes. How many survive? How many still ride the rails daily, then arrive safely to their home and their babies because
I mean, like
God failed in his mission. The precision needed to make that all happen would take
you don't even understand like how much the attitude was different. How much they normalized pedophilia in Hollywood. Like it was just normal to see a 50, 60-year-old man with a 20-something, or even a 18, 19-year-old. How many shows were geared towards, old men hanging out with children like that was fucking normal?
It's funny they don't play those reruns all the time.
They do on certain channels. You can watch different strokes. Oh yeah, he just got himself he just acquired him some little black boys. He went and picked them up from the playground with his limo. Wasn't like it went through some sort of service or whatever. The mom just said, "Hey, can you take care of that, Mr. Drummond?" And like it's just so stupid. Webster, same fucking thing. There was no agency that they had to go through. Yeah, Punky Brewster is even weirder. Some little orphan girl whose mom died, and she's living in an abandoned apartment that this old man owns the building. And he catches her in there because she's like dancing or some shit, and he hears her. And they have a rapport. And, "Oh, Punky, come sit in my lap so we can take some pictures." It's fucking weird, man. But, look at the oldest shit you can see. The Little Rascals and stuff like that. These shows about these young children who just live in the streets. This group of little rascals.
The movie Annie.
Yeah. Who did that appeal to? Why would any of that appeal to anybody?
There was not a single little girl out there that didn't want Daddy Warbucks.
I think I perceive
Right.
that it's all a big for the extras can't leave.
I mean, it was,
And not on TV. Don't question.
there was so much that was presented, and it was presented in so many of the different ways, but the same narrative, just reworked into so many different stories.
And the programming options.
The 1930s, something called the production codes was put into play. And prior to then, Hollywood has always been much more like a sports association than you realize. Okay? There are different managers, there are different owners of different teams. Instead of teams, they're studios. And the players sign contracts with each studio. An 8-picture deal with Paramount, whatever. They sign these long-term deals that basically assign them to this production house. It's really, really weird. And so, like, if back in the day, if somebody was making a movie over at MGM, but they wanted to use a star from Paramount, they would have to go work out a deal between the owners, and they would make a trade of, I'll give you my guy for this or whatever. And so a lot of people in Hollywood prior to the 30s, like Hollywood was just full of openly gay people. It wasn't a gay, they didn't have that yet. But just like now, people, that like to put on makeup and play different characters and shit, attracted a lot of gay people back then. And so the production codes of the 30s made it illegal. That's where the term beard comes from. They made it illegal for Hollywood to have gay people in movies, let alone like portrayed, but even being the actor. So that's why so many of those old stars would have like 5 and 6 marriages, because they would be married to a beard who probably was gay herself, and they would just it would last for so long, and then they'd say, oh, let's get a divorce, and they could live their single life for a little while. It was like a worldwide big deal. John got married to a broad, and look at, they're a happy couple. He couldn't have looked more uncomfortable. Anybody that would have ever believed Elton John likes women, but you have to.
As a kid, I knew.
Yeah.
Look at his coat. Look at his.
What straight man? Yeah, what straight man does it? He had the right ear earring. Like, you don't understand. Today it's not as big a deal. In the 80s and 90s and shit, if you had the right ear by itself, that was letting everybody know. In the 80s, and by the time the 90s came out, we all had those.
Doogie Howser, I saw an interview with him yesterday, and for the longest time he tried not to let anybody know,
Look at it.
And he said, and then I came out, and I was like, kind of hurt because nobody was surprised. He was like, nobody was like, you? Really? Nobody said that. I was a little hurt.
I mean,
laughing.
Her sister, the first day I met her sister, we were on our way back to the house, and I was like, your sister's gay, right? And she was like, no, she might be asexual, but she's not gay. And I was like, what are you talking about?
She liked either. Still to this day, she does not seem like she likes either, because
doesn't do anything about it.
So it was hard to think of her liking anybody.
But she's like Rajiv, right? What she likes is so far out of her league that she can't be attracted to what she can get. So she's just in that weird limbo stage where she doesn't make enough money for it not to matter, But the production codes had a lot, like there was a lot of stuff that happened. One of the things was that they realized they had fucked up by creating the Italian mafia sort of scenario. They went into these Italian neighborhoods and they were like, look, we know you have this Godfather type of a, lore. We're going to let you expand it and take it to the fullest extent. Just keep it out of our neighborhoods, focus on the blacks, and, and don't cross the line. Because it was designed to hide the fact that the Jewish mafia did it all. The most vicious, violent gang was the Purple Gang out of Detroit. Detroit was the hub of the alcohol during Prohibition. And none of the Scarfaces, none of the, any of them, they came over here. And really, the Jews were in control of the Italian mafia too, because you had guys like Meyer Lansky and, Lefty, what's his name? These guys were Jewish. It was always Jewish. It was always, Jewish hiding things. But what they did was by East Coast Hollywood being the government, the show that we're seeing, creating the narrative, and then West Coast Hollywood fomenting it by, basically showing you all these stories where, they made the Italian gangsters into like a Robin Hood character. And they became super popular. That's why you saw, the Scarface characters in every fucking old school Bugs Bunny cartoon. Every single one where they do something that they, the big lips and the, hey, that thing, that's all Scarface. They loved pushing that narrative until the people started rooting for the bad guys. And so the part of the production code said the cops can no longer lose in your movies. In all movies, the cops have to win at the end. The cops have to come out on top. Because they had accidentally created this monster and started to be like, hey, what the fuck are you talking about? We don't have to listen to you. Paid for it. The St. Valentine's Day Massacre, where like 7 gangsters were killed. When you think about the fact, like the world of those days was so hidden and crime free that 7 gangsters being killed is considered like this huge massacre that ripples through the decades and shit. It tells you something.
Reversed reflections continue laughing. Freeze.
But right when they introduced the no gay rules and the cops rules, right after that is when you see the Little Rascals. You start seeing all these shows about kids. You see this Baby Burlesque, Shirley Temple's first film, drops. And Baby Burlesque is, I would never send you a link of it. Like, you can find it on YouTube. I wouldn't show it on here. It's so uncomfortable. It's so weird. Somebody...
Temple is weird.
Oh, yeah. But what do you expect?
And that wasn't like... Baby Burlesque had a certain market. Shirley Temple appealed to everybody.
She was the highest paid star of the day.
And what they did to that little girl is
you can't even imagine.
Disgusting.
But there's something else going on there. Because the story is that she used to get everything on the first take. She would be shown what to do, and then she could just do all the dance steps and all that. What? That doesn't make sense. She was 4 years old.
I think that's a lot. Little boy.
Well,
It is no. Here's toy box down. Doesn't have to be up there. Come on, you. Check out your toys.
something else is going on in our narrative. We just don't know what it is. It's all very carefully crafted and very much hidden from us. And it's hidden from us while being put right in your face, which is a weird thing to say. But they put it in your face so that you almost feel like, you know, it's like so many things will happen where something will become well known and then they'll make a TV show about it. Just to make people be like, oh, what are you talking about, man? You talking about that TV show? Oh, man, you're stupid. You know, all those national treasures and Da Vinci codes and all that shit. Even QAnon. Nobody knew who QAnon was. They were just getting all of this press continuously, being put in the news. Hey, whatever you do, don't go look up that QAnon stuff. Okay? Don't look up QAnon. Don't look it up, okay? We promise. You don't want to see it. Don't push the shiny red button. And then you just stopped hearing about it. I haven't heard QAnon in forever. But it turns out that nowadays it's been weaponized. So they say things like, oh, he's just doing another QAnon conspiracy theory.
Boy, something ran into the front of Green's eating. Literally.
Trying to rob it, right?
There's cement, we don't know. There's cement pillars in front of that. How the fuck did they do that? Those green...
I don't know. I don't. Why would you ask me? I don't know. I was here with you, I swear. You know, the strangest shit is associated with this time. Like, if I think about, like, And I try not to think in hypotheticals and all that shit. Like, when would I, if I could do this or if I could do that. But I really would love to see this world of the World's Fairs and shit. This 1883 World's Fair, it's so fascinating to see this history that's completely hidden from us. And then we're given this really manufactured bullshit history. I gotta hate this fucking dispensary weed. Jesus. Yeah. This is all, like, during all of this time, the friars are invading Palestine. Ever since the auto emancipation pamphlet, they're invading at about 10,000 per year. And that's if you believe the story, 'cause I just can't.
He did this little video. I'm sure it's
Probably really good, really insightful. What's crazy about him? Stop it. So we had this young black kid who was their neighbor, and him and I used to smoke and talk about shit. And this was in 2011, and I guess I was already questioning the friar aspect of things, 'cause I remember us talking about it. But I used to ask him about why do you believe in Jesus? Don't you know what that shit's about? And don't you know that that's white man's poison? And he started to really question things. And then he must have went to a family function or something where he expressed that he had questions, or that he was starting to look at things a little differently, a little deeper. And he must have been attacked pretty severely for it. Because after that, it was like he was scared of me. Like somebody told him that I was, the devil, and put the devil in me, and you don't want to, that's the devil's talk, and because he got really weird. It was really a strange thing.
the devil.
Yes, sir. But you look at this narrative we're given, and I always had issues with the Holocaust narrative. It just didn't quite make sense, and I didn't even know what I know now. But most of you don't understand. You hear this narrative that Hitler took over in 1933, and then the war was till 1945. But the narrative is that the 6 million thing only happened between 1941 and 1945. The extermination thing. And if you actually do those numbers, that works out to 3 per minute, every single minute, that entire 4 years. And that's just bullshit. And the evidence just doesn't show any of that shit to be real. And there's a reason why they don't want you talking about it. And if something's real, you don't discourage people from asking questions. You absolutely encourage, if you don't think this is real, please ask me questions. Let me alleviate your concerns. And instead, when it comes to this one narrative, it's don't you dare. You can get arrested in some countries for talking about this, for questioning this. it wasn't until, I don't know, the last 6 months, maybe a little longer, but I heard about the Havara Agreement. The Havara Agreement is to me like it's really just shocking sort of thing. Like it's it's insulting. How dare you? How dare you force me to sit through and regurgitate? Every year that I was in school, we had a month-long lesson plan regarding World War II. And you'd have to like read Anne Frank, or we just have to. We just learn about how they're the victims and how they deserve basically Semitism, and that we should never say anything that they don't like. It was really just this incredible indoctrination campaign. And it was every single month, or every single year, we had one month of it in school. From like, I don't know, 7th grade on. And I just, there was always parts of it that seemed weird. But, it's hard to explain what life was like before the internet. Before you could just look something up. You didn't have to go to the library and then figure out how to look it up, because look it up is something now where you just type it into a space. There's an empty space and you type into it, I want to know stuff about this, and it just gives it all right to you. We didn't have anything even close to that. You went and talked to the librarian, and the librarian was kind of like, she was just weird.
And being half black, my hair isn't flat. In fact, it sticks up all crazy. Like King and Buckwheats, Impossible Baby. Yeah, maybe I've heard that one before. And sure, there are two.
So nowadays, it seems pretty obvious why they don't have the they don't have the imagine if a kid came into school one day and was like, hey teacher, this guy right here, he's saying some stuff that makes sense. And what would the teacher do? And so nowadays, they might get a week of it, maybe. Yeah, man, please. Napkin is code word for plate full of cocaine. And I just did a huge line really fast. Cocaine and crack with some meth inside. So when you nowadays, the thing I discovered, or didn't discover, was stumbled across. I guess discovered is the way to do it, but the Havara Agreement. And when you understand this Havara Agreement and you compare it to the forced narrative you were given and forced to regurgitate and relentlessly study, and it just was all, it was I need more of this. It was forced on us. we did not have a choice in the matter. We did not get to say, no, teacher, I don't want to study this. This shit was every goddamn year.
But wasn't it cool watching World Cup in Rio? There are Pizzagate pedos still wearing street clothes. Weed grows everywhere, yet it's fair to throw you in jail for it. But then, as long as you forfeit an enormous sum, you're done with your government.
You will.
Until next time. But to you, that's all fine compared to me simply yelling at clouds.
Sweet.
You can make teriyaki and rosemary.
The Havar agreement or the transfer agreement. This seems like something that is a huge piece of this puzzle. So much so that it destroys the decades of fucking propaganda I was given. And more so because it was never mentioned. It would be one thing if it was mentioned but explained away, but this shit was never mentioned. And the Havar Agreement was an agreement between Nazi Germany and Zionist organizations signed on August 25th, 1993 or 1933. So at this point, Hitler is in charge. So the Hitler signed this. The agreement was finalized after 3 months of talks by the Zionist Federation of Germany. Now, I always say this, but who remembers hearing about the Zionist Federation of Germany? Anybody? The Anglo-Palestine Bank, under the directive of the Jewish Agency. Do you remember hearing about the Jewish Agency? And the economic authorities of Nazi Germany. We did hear about Nazi Germany. It was a major factor in making possible the migration of approximately 60,000 German Jews to Palestine between 1933 and 30. You're what? 1933 and 39. Cece. So just that's your 10,000 per year. That's over a 6-year period. It's no different than what had already been happening. But this really does make you go like, so why would Hitler do that? This paid for it. It wasn't like this was just allowing it. It paid for it. The Jewish Agency, formerly known as the Jewish Agency for Palestine, is the largest Jewish nonprofit organization in the world. It was established in 1929 as an operative branch of the World Zionist Organization. World Zionist Organization? What the fuck is this? How come you never heard about any of this growing up? Don't these sound like important pieces of the puzzle? As an organization, it encourages immigration of Jews and diaspora to the land of Israel and oversees their integration with the state of Israel. Since 1948, the Jewish Agency claims to have brought 3 million, gotta love the 3 million immigrants to Israel, where it offers them transitional housing in absorption centers throughout the country. Come on, you get a free house. David Ben-Gurion served as the chairman of its executive committee from 1935, and in this capacity, on May 14th, 1948, he proclaimed Israel's independence. When you hear about all the different things this man was running, it's like a joke. They just assign things to this man, and we're like, oh no, he's doing this, he's doing that. Meanwhile, he's fucking playing golf like Trump. He's doing whatever the fuck he wants to do. And everything I'm reading, remember, this is this is during this Nazi period where everything's so bad for them and they're being so persecuted. 6 million of them. Following which he served as Israel's first prime minister. In the years preceding the founding of Israel, the Jewish Agency oversaw the establishment of about 1,000 towns and villages in the British Mandate of Palestine. The organization serves as the main link between Israel and Jewish communities around the world. By law, the Jewish Agency is a parastatal organization and does not receive core funding from the Israeli government. Oh, I bet. The Jewish Agency is funded by the Jewish Federations of North America. So wait. It doesn't receive government funding. It receives funding from America. The biggest Jewish organization in America is what funds it. Here in Hayside, major Jewish communities and federations and foundations and donors from Israel and around the world. Again, it's like when they say Israel took over Palestine in 1948. Well, Israel didn't exist. So how could they have done anything? They didn't have a government. They didn't have a military. So are we sure it was them that did it, or was it maybe us that did it? In 2008, the Jewish Agency won the Israel Prize for its historic contribution to Israel and the Jewish community worldwide. Established as the Land of Israel office of the Zionist organization in 1908. Weird how you never hear about this. The organization became the Zionist Commission, then later the Palestine Zionist Executive. God damn it. The body was designated as the Jewish Agency, responsible for coordinating the establishment of the Jewish National Home provided for in the League of Nations Mandate for Palestine, and was thus again renamed as the Jewish Agency for Palestine in 1929. After the establishment of the State of Israel, it received its current name, the Jewish Agency for Israel. Stephanie, what's up? The Jewish Agency began in Haifa, in 1908 as the Palestine Office for the Land of Israel, and of the Zionist organization, the ZO, in Ottoman-controlled Palestine. It was headed by Arthur Ruppin and was founded as the operational branch of the ZO, with its main task being to represent the Jews of Ottoman Palestine in dealings with the Sultan and other foreign dignitaries, to aid Jewish immigration and to buy land for Jewish communities to settle in. Man, that must have been fucking nice. Jewish immigrants of the Second Aliyah. 1912. Look, make it look like we're really poor. And we're just, oh, look at this. Nobody's clothes are dirty. Nobody looks like they've been doing anything hard work, but it looks like it. Look at the shovels are on the ground in front of them. offices of the Jewish Agency in Jerusalem following a car bomb on March 11th, 19. Oh, yes, look at that. Oh, it looks so bad. Resha Fryer, founder of the Youth Aliyah organization, 1964. Her name is Resha Fryer, F-R-E-I-E-R. Oh, that's hilarious. Survivors arrive in Haifa to be arrested by the British. Where'd they get that flag from? If that's the Israel flag, how did it exist before Israel? Fucking Theodore Herzl at the top. First Prime Minister of Israel publicly denouncing the declaration of, or pronouncing the declaration of the State of Israel. This is ours now. Yemenite Jews arriving in Israel through Operation Mass Carpet. Just come on, we'll give you free houses. It's all good. Jews arriving in Israel from Addis Ababa through Operation Solomon. They're just getting off the airplane. Can you imagine how nice it is to just have all of your hopes and dreams just handed to you for free? Itzhak Herzog, former chairman of the executive for the Jewish Agency. He's actually the president of Israel right now. Yeah, it's better internet, right? Because, like, you know, you can pay X amount for poor internet, or you can pay more for better internet on your phone, right? Yeah, that's how that works. You know how stupid you sound right now? Yeah, it's not that my shit's getting fucked with because I have too many viewers. It's not working today. The censorship isn't working. I have 14 likes, 8 whole viewers, but the view count is actually higher than normal. So it's not like they're trying to fuck with the feed to get people to quit. It's that I just can't afford better internet. Meh. Do you know how stupid that is? You don't, the internet is just exists. You tap into it or you don't. Man, so stupid. The National Institute, Jewish Agency headquarters in Jerusalem. Jesus Christ. It's a big fucking building. The Palestine office was established under the inspiration of Theodore Herzl's vision for a solution to the Jewish question, the issue of anti-Semitism, and the place of Jews in the world. Why does any of that matter? They're not special. They're not anything great, and I'm just not. This shit goes on forever. It's all just so stupid.
Is this thing on? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to...
Now I have one viewer. Just like that. The blink of an eye. Now I have 0 viewers. You guys see that you're here, but I have 0 viewers, right? 0 viewers, 14 likes. Oops, I said something.
He who writes the narrative is he who rules the world. That was clever. Write that down. The truth is, it's imperative that the wearer of the crown thinks repairing never sounds like something worth overlooking. Through clarity, we found both wings are for our stupping. These kings are really crooks who bring about destruction. The scheme that cooks the books clings on completely out of touch. Then they scream about dysfunction, yet they're disgusting day and night. Their whole team is just a bust, and its combustion is the light. A must win that's right in sight.
What's up, Cece?
Black and white make gray. They're nothing when we fight their fright. Their dynamite's dismay is the type we put away when the play is truly seen. Like flying
kites in rain, it may just be a dream, but the day we mend the seams, we cream these corny overseers.
Got those 90s
Believing TV
dances.
screens just means you're born to serve the ears, since we're torn between our fears and what appears to be elation. The warning's in the mirror, so the tears should mean salvation. Because Putin's dropping bombs on children. Putin's dropping bombs on children. Children. Putin's dropping bombs on children. Putin's dropping bombs on children. Children. Putin's dropping bombs on children. Putin's dropping bombs on children. Children. Putin's dropping bombs on children. Somebody think of the children. I saw it on the news. You can't call it abuse. I'm not dancing
Weird
around
how
truth. Advancement's not a ruse.
the time on my feed keeps resetting, so I have no idea how long I've actually been live. It's done that every single video. It almost makes it so I go longer than I would.
We're clueless to the core with a script including spacemen. We're bricks put in our place when we don't see the manipulation. Yet we're grapes made in the raisins if we fight their planned invasion. They feed us sanitation, dangling vacation, prizes and amazing gifts if you comply. But that's how you know they lie, since the people steal the real. Those bitches switch their side to ensure they seal the deal. So if knowledge is the meal, then eat like you're an American. It doesn't matter how you feel, the rabbit always beats the terrapin. And it's tragic that a pair can't win against a royal straight. But there's magic when suits are skinned and we flush out the hate. Putin's dropping bombs on children. Putin's dropping bombs on children. Children. Putin's dropping bombs on children. Putin's dropping bombs on children. Children. Putin's dropping bombs on. Putin's dropping bombs on. Putin's dropping bombs on children. Oh, somebody think of the children. Children, 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 children. Yeah!
Okay, the World Zionist Organization,
Stop saying bro.
or the WZO, is a non-profit, non-governmental organization, of course it is,
The option to change the
that promotes Zionism. Now, just so you know, the definition of Zionism is, Zionism is an ethnic nationalist movement that emerged in late 19th century Europe to establish and support a Jewish homeland through colonization in the region of Palestine. Late 19th century, in the 1880s, which roughly corresponds to the land of Israel in Judaism, itself central to Jewish history. They have their own separate history. Zionists wanted to create a Jewish state in Palestine with as much land, as many Jews, and as few Palestinian Arabs as possible. Zionism was the main force behind the creation of the State of Israel in 1948 and remains the country's dominant ideology today. So do you understand? It's a very supremacist organization. It's a very supremacist belief. It's not racist. They have a bunch of different looks about them. It's about them being supremacist as an organization. And it's really just the epitome of disgusting, and yet you're just not supposed to know. You're supposed to, feel guilty if you fucking speak out against it, and, how dare you say you don't support this fucking insanity? It was founded as the Zionist Organization, ZO, 1897 through 1960. 1897. Something that you just never hear about growing up in school. You only literally hear about how they're just the most persecuted people for no reason whatsoever. But you never hear about all this supremacy that's everywhere.
Just $1 per month from 2.9 billion people is 35 billion punches a year to the evil attacking our sequels. Who doesn't want that?
Yeah, I don't know what I think about this idea of war with Iran. I don't buy it, sorry. Iran has been promising that if Israel does one more big thing, if Israel attacks one more time, if Israel attacks Lebanon, if Israel attacks whatever, we're gonna fucking wipe them out. We've already shown we have the technology, we have the ability to do it. So we're gonna wipe them out if they violate any other truth, this, that, and the other truth, this, that. And then Israel does it, and Iran just repeats the fucking narrative. Like, you understand I'm inside a home right now, right? That seems kind of weird. You seem pretty desperate. And again, who is going to be upset about me reading about this shit? Do you honestly think there's just regular old Americans just sitting around like, wait, this guy talking bad about Israel? Oh man, fuck him. Like, really? Do you think that's anybody? Obviously, I've been targeted by them. And for those that don't know, one of their main weapons is something called act.il. Before I read this, I'll read you this. Again, you always got to come with the receipts, right? Locked page. Act.il is a social networking service used by supporters of Israel to oppose online, quote, anti-Israel content such as the BS movement, boycott, divestments, and sanctions. Its activities were referred to as, quote, an online propaganda campaign, and, quote, a virtual situation room of pro-Israel experts, where you really pay attention. Act.il directed its users to, quote, missions to like, comment on, and share pro-Israel material on social media. What? It also asked users to flag, report, and respond to criticisms of Israel. Users were guided how to respond, which might entail writing a reply using the provided talking points. Notice how they all just say the same dumb shit? Like, how many random people do you think throughout the world would stumble across this feed, especially, them being Jewish of all things? 0.183% of the world's population just keeps stumbling across my feed somehow. It's not this, it's just somehow. And then they say the same dumb shit, almost word for word. What do you think the chances of that are? Like, in reality, with just totally natural, normal, no interference, no nothing. It's just... Apparently, they're just such big fans of mine. Yeah, schizophrenia. You're schizophrenic. They all just don't know what schizophrenia means. They're all so stupid. They improperly use schizophrenia. Because again, mental illness is funny, right? When you don't have anything to say, just bring in mental illness. Because mental illness is funny. But they all just say the same dumb fucking comments, right? The app also provided the users with ready memes, promoting Israel's perspective for them to share. By completing missions, users earned points, unlocked badges, and had their scores displayed on leaderboards. Does that not sound like exactly what's going on here? If you're watching, like, share, and sub, help out. It's interesting that they're allowing us to have so many viewers today. Must be that Sunday morning mass. Oh, well. The Lord wants you to share this feed. Hey, you know what you guys should all do? Hype this feed. Is your schizophrenic acting up? Is your schizophrenic? Is your schizophrenic? Dude, you just missed it. You got the you're right and everything, but you didn't say schizophrenia. You should have said schizophrenia. Is your schizophrenia acting up because you seem like you need help? You need help. Take your meds. You need help. You need help. Take your meds. Take your meds. Can you imagine being such a dumbass that you're like, oh, I'm going to get him here. I'm going to type it in all capital letters. This will get him. Is your schizophrenic acting up? Gosh. That makes you think it might be a bot because the bots are really stupid like that. All of our songs are awesome, you dumb twat. It was founded as the Zionist organization, 1897 and 1960, at the initiative of Theodor Herzl at the First Zionist Congress, which took place in August 1897. Oh, I thought it was 1894, my bad. In Basel, Switzerland, at the Stadtcasino Basel, Switzerland. The goals of the Zionist movement were set out in the Basel program. It's interesting that they say this. So, the first Zionist Congress, right? The first Zionist Congress, Congress in the ZO held in that casino Basel in the city of Basel, Switzerland, on August 23rd through August 31st, 1897. 208 delegates from 17 countries and 26 press correspondents attended the event. Here's a real life picture of it, right? Real life, all the people's faces just happen to be caught in the photo. Just right at the right place and time to take this perfect picture. Look at the building they're in, 1897. This is the building. This is a well-lit building, I would say. But you have to ask yourself, okay, Basel, Switzerland. What transportation networks did they have set up back then? 17 different countries. Delegates, over 208 delegates from 17 different countries. How did they get, think about this. Okay. So there's no, the phone system is in America, I guess it's going. I'm not real sure how well it was working back then, but even then, even in America, we're barely talking about anything. So you would assume that they would have had to decide, they have to go to Basel, Switzerland in the first place. They have to scope things out, pick whatever building they're going to be in. Pick the building, pick the menu, the service. This is how this works. If you've ever worked at a banquet hall or whatever, you know it's actually a lot of fucking work. They have to lock down the date. Then they have to send out all of the invitations to all of the different members. Again, not really sure what those networks look like back then. The mail network. A lot of times you see that they had pneumatic tube systems in certain places to deliver. They send all these 208 delegates have to be receive their thing, receive their invitation, RSVP, let them know that they'll be there, and then they have to start making their journey from whatever these 17 different countries are. And it all has to be timed out right, so they all get there on the same day. What 1897 technology? What do you think that was like? Now, I know, like, it makes way more sense if you think about airships, and that airships were really prominent back then, and they're just lying to us. But how else would you get 17 different country delegates there? They all have to get there. They all have to have, hotel reservations, and like, this isn't primitive. These are all people in fucking tuxedos and shit, right? This is a huge event. Do you understand how many people have to be there and making sure this event happens? 3 days of disgusting friars running around. Where'd they all stay? Where'd the food come from? What did they eat? Would it be, kosher food? Obviously, you'd have to have kosher food. This is the narrative that you're given, and to me, I would like to see how this is all possible before I just believe it. 1897 seems like, like a different world to me. Obviously, there's a lot more technology, and stuff like this points to the fact that it was a lot more advanced than we think it was. But when you think about 1897, that's not what you think about. And getting to Basel, Switzerland, I mean, Jesus Christ. We're talking about through mountains and shit. What a inconvenient place to have your shit. The Sted's Casino in Basel. Let's see. Is a concert hall in Basel. Here's the main concert hall. This is where they all had their shit. Who built this? Oh, and the only other picture associated with it is that's the only other thing this is known for. It belongs to the Sted Casino Gesellschaft, a non-profit organization in Basel. The largest concert hall, the music hall, from 1876 with 1,500 seats, is internationally renowned for its excellent acoustics and is the home base of the Sinfoorchestra in Basel. Let's see the history of it. The founding members first met in hired premises on Rheinerskorf. In hired premises? What the fuck does that mean? In 1808, eventually the society required its own building, and from 1820, the architect Malachor Berry worked on the plans. I guarantee that dude's like associated with countless buildings. The Stett Casino Grishanen was officially established in 1824, and the original building at Steinberger was completed in 1826. The building was completed in 1820. It was established in 1824. At the most, it could be 2 years, but it's probably not. Notable events, however, the original building include the first Zionist Congress in 1897, Up until the establishment of the State of Israel in 1948, the Congress was held a total of 10 times in the Steinberg premises, more than any other city or venue in the world. Well, there it is. What a claim to fame that is, huh? The establishment, the whole, genocidal nature that's happening today is from then. In the late 1930s, because of financial difficulty, the original building was sold and a new building was erected. That's it? We're not going to find any information on the new building or anything? From 2000, there was a project to build a new casino, although an international competition was held for architects, and a winning project by Zaha Hadid was announced. The voters of the canton of Baselstadt refused permission in 2007 to proceed with the new building. It was proposed to make structural alterations and extensions to the existing building. Modifications based on the study of Herzog and Mazula were carried out in 2016 and the 2020 study. Come on, Melchior, Melchior Berry. That's this guy's name. Born October 20th, 1801, died May 12th, 1854. Was a Swiss architect. That's it. This is what he looked like. Oh, it's so funny. Basil Toe, Swiss stamp, 1845. He was the son of Melchior Berry. He was the son of the guy with the exact same name, parish priest in Munichstein, and Apollonia Stekenskinskin. In 1832, he married Margaretha Simone Buchart of Basel. Berry was born on October 20th, 1801 in Basel. He grew up the son of a pastor in Basel and Munichstein. In his youth, he wanted to become a military engineer for Napoleon. His father had taught him a career as a stonemason, but after the advice of a relative, his family supported his education as an architect. Oh, these stories are so dumb. Between 1817 and 1819, he studied in Karlsruhe with Johann Jakob and Arnold, the nephew of the famous architect Friedrich Weinbrenner. From 1819, he was able to study with Weinbrenner. Afterwards, he studied with the architect Jean-Nicolas Hoyot in Paris at the École des Beaux-Arts between 1823 and 1825. Just traveling around the world, studying this and that. Because, it's the early 1800s. That's what you did. You just traveled the world and studied in these places that were fit for studying in. It wasn't everything about your life just trying to get something to eat. No, this is what life was like back then. From 1819, in August 1825, he won a competition which allowed him to continue his studies at the Académie des Beaux-Arts. During his studies in Paris, he rented a room. He sometimes visited the cemetery, Paris-Lange, where he made sketches of the monuments and also attended the coronation of Charles X. In 1826, he traveled to Italy, because of course he did, where he took an interest both in Pompeii's buildings and frescoes and in the Renaissance palaces of Rome. Because they had really intricate books and internets for you to look at so you can study these things in your classes. Who printed the books? Where did it all come from? These are great narratives, but if you just start to try to think about them from just a practical standpoint, all these people just eating and going to school, and who was paying the teachers, and what were they, how did life work? It seems like it seems, like if you let your modern assessment sort of take over, you don't think about it, but think about like how crazy difficult everything had to be back then. And this guy's just traveling all over the world, just studying with this person. How? Who's paying for him to rent the room? What is he paying for the room he's renting with? He's a student, right? In doing so, he developed the technical skills of a stonemason, plasterer, and bricklayer. He studied buildings and frescoes and the Renaissance palaces of Rome. Studying those palaces, he developed the technical skills of a stonemason, plasterer, and bricklayer. How? You see what I mean? Like if you just read it from you have to do a book report standpoint, it's going to sound fine. But if you're really sort of confused, like you ask like just deeper questions, it starts breaking down as this kind of really dumb, nonsensical narrative. Where does all this ability come from? He was just studying the buildings, apparently, and somehow developed the technical skills to be able to make those buildings? Oh, are you mad? Are you mad? Are you upset? We will never know. History do lie sometime. Yes, history is a lie all of the time. You can't be arrogant, right? The arrogance comes in when you think you can pick and choose which parts are the lie and which parts are the reality. Why black people would ever believe in slavery is so far beyond me. It's crazy. Being the only person of color in the schools that I went to, when we would have to do the slavery portion of history, it would be so uncomfortable because I would just think how stupid this sounds. You're telling me only one official time in the 400 years that's supposedly slavery, or 200 or 300 something years, that the slaves were like, hey, fuck this, and the hundreds of slaves that are on a plantation decide they're going to take out the small white family that runs the plantation. They go marching down the street. They go to the next plantation. They take over that plantation, so now they're double in size. And it's either on their way to the third one or on the way to the fourth one. I can never remember. But you know how, black people, they always know all the steps. They always know all the words of the song, just random walking down the street. Black people just break out into song and dancing. Well, these slaves were just beating drums and having a good old time. And as they go around a bend, suddenly the American military is there. Dun, dun, dun. And the blacks are like, oh, Lordy, we quit. We sorry. Could we go back to work for you, massa? And they just get rounded up and taken back to their plantations or sold off to other ones. And that was that. That's literally the only time there was ever a slave revolt in the supposed history of slaves. That's how pathetic and willing to be slaves black people supposedly were for all those years. And if you believe that, you're fucking stupid. Of course they tell stories of the slaves that escaped the plantations. That's nothing. The idea of the slavery in itself is fucking stupid. The world that you think that we lived in does not fit. As soon as you start going back 100 years ago, the narrative we're told just breaks down. Because you have all of these structures and cities and all these different things that exist. Big giant buildings, magnificent fucking, buildings. You have channels that get dug, the Erie Canal, just all kinds of crazy shit that would be impossible by today's standards, let alone 100, 200, 300 years ago. And yet they're strewn throughout history while we're also supposedly these backwood fucking hillbilly, this, that, and the other, or these plantations with these southern fucking, again, these families that live in these monster houses and have all these black fucking slaves, and the slaves never like, hey, there's only like 6 white people in that house, right? I mean, it's just a stupid story. The slave ships traveled along the hurricane routes from Africa to the Americas. What are you, fucking crazy? They crammed all the slaves in the bottom of the ships, and some of them would die on the way. You understand? Why would you do that? If you did that, by the time you got them the 2-3 month voyage it was, they'd all be sick as shit. And again, they didn't let them use the bathroom or anything. Like, they were tied, chained together, laying on their backs. They'd be emaciated. They'd be atrophied. They'd be sick. You'd kill off so much of your fucking of your supply. Who's gonna do that? What sense would that make? And of course, they're just navigating the old school 1800 ships just along the slavery routes, using the stars. Come the fuck on. And the slaves, ships, at the end of the day, all of the slave ships, well, they're owned by Jews. Yeah, never mind that part, though. Excuse me, when I go to the slave buying, the slave block, where they got the slaves all with the chains around their necks, they're all sitting there just waiting to get taken to the plantation so I can put them to work. So stupid. I mean, even the Pilgrim story is dumb. They were trying to get to the southern part, but they got blown off course. And the trip that was supposed to take roughly a month took 2 months, and they crashed up in Cape Cod, New York. And they crashed in early December, but they didn't disembark from the ship until late December, like at December 22nd or something like that. And I think they crashed in late November. I don't remember, but and they just happened to find an area that had already been clear cut for them to be able to, it just happened to be right off of where, thankfully, because they would have died that first winter if it hadn't have been for this. And they were still on the verge of dying afterward. But good old Squanto came walking up the beach. Squanto, who as a child was kidnapped by the white people, taken overseas where he learned all the customs of white people and how to speak English and all that, escaped back to the United States where he learned how to be an Indian, learned how to read the land, speak the language, blah, blah, blah. Was kidnapped again, taken to Europe where he was a slave until he escaped again and came back to the United States. And now he's walking up the beach and he sees a colony of white people struggling, and he doesn't go, fuck them. He decides to help them. Oh, thanks the giving. Oh. Do you know how stupid the whole story is? Do you know what it looks like in that region of the world in November and December. Do you know how ridiculous it is to think that they didn't get off the boat until December 22nd or something like that? It's all just fucking stupid. It's a stupid, stupid fuck. George Washington is a stupid thing. Everybody I know, my age, older, around my age, we all grew up thinking George Washington had wooden teeth. Why would we have all thought that? It was always a weird thing, because it was like, how? Aren't they gross? Wearing a fucking mouthful of splinters and shit? The fuck you talking about, wooden teeth? Turns out it's not true, because it's dumb as shit. But the whole George Washington going across the Delaware, it's all just dumb shit. And there's all sorts of, buildings, monuments, star forts that exist that just don't make any sense. We couldn't have done that. We can't do it now. Chicago, the entire city of Chicago. Oh, they just raised it up. Yeah, that's why there's so. It's not a mud flood or anything. They raised it up because of the street. It was flooded, and so they just raised up the streets to the second level, and then they just It's so goddamn stupid. How did they build all the canals and shit in Chicago? How did they tame all the waterways? What concrete were they using that dried while wet? Lasts forever. It never needs to be redone unless something tragic happens. But even then, it doesn't look the same. It doesn't hold up the same. We can't do it the same. The story of the Erie Canal, that some fucking businessmen in New York just decided they wanted to build a canal because they thought, this would be a great way for us to make money. So they just built the canal. And they invented a form of concrete that could dry when wet. We still don't know what form that was, but they did it for that. And they did the canal in like some stupid amount of time. That, again, it's all just bullshit. Everything is bullshit. Supposed to just believe that the people capable of building places like Machu Picchu and Tacapulca and all the Aztec cities and the Mayan cities and all, that they were just these savages. They were just savages who sacrificed heads, and the heads would roll down the pyramid steps. And then the white man came, and the one, they had been told that if a white man ever comes from the east in a ship, that you are to swim out to the ship with gifts and worship this man because he is a god. Luckily for that white guy. And when they figured out that there was nothing special about the guy, they just couldn't take out these white people. They just couldn't do it. They had a firepower advantage and what? Shut the fuck up. Or they just kept reneging on shit like the Native Americans. They say that when white people invaded the United States, or the Americas, there were as many as 100 million natives. America. Look at that. That's the same shit. Like, that's what it looked like in the 30s, right? Who was building all that shit? Oh, it's so goofy. Oh, I forgot what I was saying. Damn it, I knew I shouldn't have done that. It's all dumb. It's all fucking dumb. And I'm done. I appreciate y'all being here. Have yourself a wonderful day. Pedophiles, kill yourself.